Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining the LeadSquared webinar today. Today our webinar topic is it's a masterclass on Google Adwords, and it's an advanced look at how to improve search campaigns. So we have with us today Salil. So Salil, thank you so much for joining us today. And why don't you share something about yourself?
Thanks, Shivani, for the warm welcome. It's always been a pleasure to be with LeadSquared. This is my second time organizing the webinar. I hope everyone learned something new today. This is a slightly advanced look at campaign structuring. It's ideally for someone who has slight experience about Google AdWords. I'll try to make it as simple as possible, but in case any of you have any problem, you can always ask me. Regarding my background, I run a company called AdNabu. It's an AdWords software. We help create and manage AdWords search campaigns efficiently for advertisers.
Awesome, thank you so much. So guys, we'll start the presentation now. Salil, would you like to start with some polls, or would you do that later?
We can have a quick poll of how many are actually right now advertising in AdWords, or something that is on those similar lines.
So yeah, how proficient are you with AdWords? That's a quick poll you have on your screen right now. So if you're a beginner, please click on that. You just need to click on the screen, and I'm getting responses already, and so I can see 50% of you are mostly in between, not really a beginner but not an advanced user as well. There are 6 of you who are advanced users, so good. I mean, that's good. And about 44% are beginners. So yeah, that's most of it. So 82% of you have voted. Thank you. I'm going to close the poll now. Right, and I'll run another poll. So how many of you are actually running Google AdWords? Just say yes or no. It's on your screen, just type that. So yes, so I can see 79% are running Google AdWords. So that's good to hear. So Salil, over to you.
All right, it's a nice group that we have here. I hope the advanced guys also learned something new today. Great, let's start then. We will start with the topic of the seminar. It's essentially on campaign structuring, and this is a very crucial part in when you create and run your AdWords campaigns. And I'll walk you through how to create a campaign in the most structured way. A bit about AdNabu. As I initially said, we help advertisers create and manage search campaigns better. It's a software product which optimizes and manages your campaigns automatically. Let's start the main topic, right? I'll just briefly explain how an AdWords account looks like. An AdWords account can have multiple campaigns. The location and the budget, these are specified at the campaign level. A campaign can have multiple ad groups, and an ad group can contain keywords and ads. So I'll explain these terms as we move ahead. I have a small image which you can see where you can understand how the structure looks like. So this AdWords account right at the top, there are multiple campaigns inside an AdWords account. And an AdWords campaign has multiple ad groups in it. And each ad group has keywords, ad text. Ignore the landing page for right now. A landing page is right now integrated with the ad text itself. So the keywords, the smallest unit is ad group, which contains keywords and ads. Now, the entire presentation has been structured around a persona. It's Sam. She's a lawyer, and she wants to advertise in Google. We will, explore various things that she does. We will try to learn from the mistakes that she makes and slowly refine her campaigns till we reach a perfect campaign structure. So the first option that she has is something called AdWords Express. This is a new product from Google relatively compared to Google AdWords. AdWords Express is relatively new. It is extremely simple to start with. You only need to create one ad. You can briefly explain what the product is. There is no keyword input that has to be given from your side. Google will automatically find those keywords and show your ads. The only thing that you have to define is the budget and the location. even a website is not required. If it's a small business and if he wants to just direct visitors to their Google Plus page or Google My Business page, this is the easiest to start with. And absolutely no manual intervention is needed. The campaigns will be running automatically. So let's assume that the Sam started with an AdWords Express campaign, and we will see what are the problems that she will face. The first problem is that the conversion tracking is not available with AdWords Express. So she cannot find who signed up as a lead for her or who did not sign up for a lead from the campaign. It's extremely difficult to optimize also. The AdWords Express gives you very little flexibility in terms of changing the campaign. You can only make reactive changes, say that, hey, these keywords are not right, I should exclude them. You cannot even bid specifically for keywords. So a lot of power is essentially lost in AdWords Express, but it's essentially it is for ideally suited for very small businesses who doesn't have any time whatsoever to manage their AdWords account. So Sam realizes her mistake, and she decides to create an AdWords campaign, not an AdWords Express campaign, but an AdWords campaign. So let's see what is very simple, very basic structure would look like. The most basic structure would be creating a campaign which has one ad group, one ad, one keyword, which is lawyer, and she sets up the conversion tracking in Google AdWords. So from now on, her ads will be shown whenever user searches for anything related to lawyer. If the user comes to her website and gives her a lead, it will be tracked as a conversion, so she can measure the performance of the campaigns. Now, what are the problems that this extremely simple setup might have? Usually, a single ad is might not be the best option to start with. An ideal strategy is to have at least 4 or more ads per ad group, and let Google figure out the best ad over time. There are custom options available for ad rotation. You can maybe rotate evenly for 90 days. These are advanced options, but I would recommend sticking to the Google strategy of finding the best ad over time. Another important thing to note is that whenever you make an ad change, it's important to change things in an incremental way. Change one parameter at a time. If you want to change headline versus description line, do not change the ad completely. Make one changes at a moment, measure it, and then make the other change. All right. So Sam realizes her mistakes, and now she creates a structure in which there is one ad group, one keyword, and multiple ads. I just wanted to have a quick QA now to see if people are following me, or if there is any kind of repetition that is needed. Can we do that?
Yes, Salil, would you like me to ask you some questions that people are putting in?
Something that is related to whatever we have spoken. If any question is related to what we have spoken, then I'll take it right now.
Okay. So Puneet has a question. Are there any limitations in terms of number of ads under one ad group?
For all practical purposes, no. There are some hard limits, but I don't think you will ever reach that. Usually this is an iterative process. You have to go with a hunch in the start. You have to, for a lot of businesses, it's very obvious. For example, that the persona that we have today, Sam, she's a lawyer. And for her, finding keywords is like easy because she is a lawyer, and anybody searching for a lawyer is a potential customer. For some businesses, it might not be so, but it's always a question of iteration.
Right. Okay. I think we are good to go for now.
Let's move ahead. So right now our structure is that we have one keyword, one ad group, and multiple ads. Let's also dig in what further problems there are in this kind of a structure. Sam sees that in the search term report, there are some searches which has a higher conversion ratio and some which has a lower conversion ratio. So it's not it's better to track the performance of these keywords separately. So she decided to add these keywords. So instead of having one keyword, she's going to add multiple keywords to the ad group and change the bid of these keywords. So some keyword might have a higher conversion ratio. The best lawyer might have a higher conversion ratio compared to lawyer reviews. So she decided to add these keywords into the ad group with a different bid. The keywords that she is going to add are best lawyer, lawyer reviews, and lawyer fees. So let's see how this will start to look like. The campaign will have multiple keywords. Each keyword has a different bid because the performance of these keywords are different. Earlier she used to just bid one bid for a lawyer, and it used to be an averaged out bid. That's not optimized way of optimizing your campaign. So the best way is to identify the different keywords, how they are performing, and then bidding accordingly. She has not made any change in the ad group and multiple ads as of now. Now, what are the problems in this kind of a structure? The biggest problem is that now the ad that is in the ad group might not be relevant for all keywords, right? The ad for lawyer reviews might be slightly different from best lawyer. You might want to customize your ad based on what the user is searching for. This kind of a structure does not allow that to happen because the ads are tied to an ad group, and if all the keywords are in that same ad group, you can only make so many changes in the ads. The best way to do this is to segregate keywords into multiple ad groups. So instead of having the 4 keywords in a single ad group, ideally you should divide it into multiple ad groups. So we come to this concept of multiple ad group structure. So she thinks that the best way to divide is divided into 2 ad groups. She decides to have a different ad for reviews, but the same one for everything else. It makes some sense. This is called keyword grouping. It is a recommended strategy from Google, where they say that group a bunch of keywords together and advertise it using the specific ad instead of putting every one of them together into one ad group. Even this particular structure is not the best at all. So let's see what are the problems that this structure has. One highly overlooked thing is the device level performance of different keywords, and the device level performance of different keywords might vary a lot. So one keyword can have a conversion ratio of 5% in mobile, and another keyword can have a conversion ratio of 10% in mobile. So you can only place device level bids only at the ad group level or at the campaign level. Campaign level is the least efficient, but ad group level is the max that you can go. So the best strategy here then is to create single keyword ad groups. This is a very commonly used term if you are familiar with Google Adwords. A lot of experts suggest creating single keyword ad groups, or SKAG as they are commonly known. Sam takes this idea and creates multiple keywords and an ad group for every single keyword. So she has 4 ad groups right now. Let's say for the simplifying this thing. So she has 4 ad groups. Every single ad group has one keyword, and every ad group has multiple ads. I just wanted to have a quick Q&A again. Is there something that I need to repeat? Then I can do that.
Right. So Salil, starting with one question from Saurabh. So he says, how does AdWord campaign differ for product-based companies and service-based? Is display ad a better option than PPC?
So it really depends. The product, most of the answers, right? Especially if it's a question about whether display will work for me or search will work for me, it's highly subjective. Usually, most of the time search works better. And there might be some cases where you might be able to find some arbitrage in display, but for more, let's take another statistics, right? For Google AdWords, Google gets most of its revenue from search, and that tells that advertisers are putting more money in search. And why are they putting more money in search? Because it is found to be profitable for them. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to waste money in search. So mostly search should work, And there I haven't seen any specific differentiation with respect to product and service. Mostly it is not related to which type of campaign should work or not.
Right. Wow, there are a lot of questions coming in. So, Ashwin wants to know, what is the best way to monitor the performance of an AdWords account, as in with many ads? How do you keep track and keep optimizing without wasting time?
So the ad level optimization is, it can take some kind of a backseat in my experience. You can obviously experiment with 8 or 10 ads, but after a point, spending too much time on ad optimization is like a waste of time. What we can rather do is looking at optimizing keywords and bids. Monitor the performance of keywords and find out which one is working and which one is not. Change the bids. If you are not actively changing the bids, you are losing a tremendous amount of money. I have seen accounts, which can work at least 2x times better if they were doing keyword optimization and bid optimization better.
Okay, Siddharth has a question. He is asking, single keyword ad groups would increase number of ad groups exponentially. How do you tackle that?
So here is the thing, if you want that kind of an efficiency from PPC, you have no other option. And it's, the number of keyword, the ad group, the increase in ad groups is okay. I mean, if you have those many number of keywords, it's not going to really affect you much. That's my personal opinion. But in case that you cannot maintain such a strategy, you cannot maintain a single keyword ad group strategy, you can then combine keywords together into multiple ad groups. It is not as good as single keyword ad groups, but it's like something that is a compromise.
Right, okay. So Mohit says, it won't be possible for big advertisers to separate each keyword with an ad group. What is the best solution for an e-commerce company who have hundreds of campaigns and ad groups?
So when I say that segregate, make single keyword ad groups, I do not mean to say, create ad group for every single search that a user can make. What I'm saying is that every single search which is statistically significant, make an ad group for that. So if a search is only done, maybe 30 times a month, don't create a separate ad group for it. It's wasting time. But if a keyword is being searched more than 100 times a month, then it makes some sense to create a separate ad group for it. But having said that, I understand that e-commerce companies will find it a little bit harder to create single keyword ad groups, and the previous answer holds. You are then trading efficiency over ease of management. If you can, it's the call that you have to make. You campaign which is more efficient, but it will take a little bit more maintenance part from you to properly maintain and optimize it.
Okay. Without proper exact interface, these bullets, okay, I think he was responding to someone. Do you want to take a break and continue with the presentation, or do you want to take more questions, Salil?
I can go ahead with the presentation if, everybody is like okay with whatever we have discussed so far, then we can go ahead.
So guys, if it's okay, if you're following what Salil is actually talking about, then I think we can go ahead with the presentation, because I think there are a lot of questions coming in which are generic and which are like AdWords related, but different proficiency levels. So is it okay if we go on ahead with the presentation now, or do you want to ask something about what Salil has discussed till now? Yeah, all right. So I think we can go ahead, Salil. We'll take the questions towards the beginning. Thanks,
Right.
everyone. Yeah.
I think the generic question, if anybody has, I'll give extra time at the end, so we can take those questions then also. All right. So this brings me to a new concept. I'll just recap where we are. We have single keyword ad groups right now, multiple ads per ad group. I'll now introduce the concept of match types. So far, we have not discussed anything about match types. And in Google, there are three types of match types, which are the main match types, and there's one extra match type. These are exact, phrase, broad, and broad match modifier. What is an exact match keyword? So exact match keywords only targets the exact search that is being made. They are denoted by square brackets in Google Adwords interface. For example, a lawyer with a square bracket will only trigger when a user searches for a lawyer. There is because of a small change in the advertising policies, right now it will also trigger for misspellings and plurals, but otherwise it will only trigger for lawyer. Phrase match keywords. So again, let's think about why these different matches are available in AdWords, right? Because it's humanly impossible to figure out what all people can search for right from the start. So Google has made it easy where you can advertise for a lot of searches being made with very little keywords. So that one keyword, a lawyer in broad match, could have triggered ads for a lot of searches, millions of searches. And that is the beauty of the AdWords match types. Let's talk about the phrase match right now. Phrase matches targets searches where the word is present. It's denoted by double quotes. It's lawyer in double quotes will trigger only when a user searches anything like lawyer firms or lawyers in US, etc. So again, the order is important here. So if there was lawyer firms in phrase match, it would have only triggered for lawyer firms in New York, lawyer firms in US, and not for firms that employ lawyers, right? Because the order is important here. The final match type is broad match. It is one of the oldest match type available in Google, and what it helps is that it's also the default match type. It helps you to target any search results which are related to the keyword. So for example, a lawyer keyword in broad match might even trigger ads for law firms or attorney or something like that. So you have to be careful while using broad match. It is a very powerful match type, but it can also show ads where it is not supposed to show ads. The latest addition to the picture is broad match modifier. It is related to broad, but it's much stricter in targeting. So it is denoted usually by a plus sign. So for example, best lawyer will trigger ads if both best as well as lawyer is present in the search. So the sample search is where it will trigger ads as who's the best lawyer, lawyers who are best. See here the order is not important. The order of keywords was important in phrase match, but not in broad match modifier. So I have a small figure here which shows the relation. The one which is the smallest is the exact match, which only triggers for the exact type of searches. There is another phrase match which is slightly bigger. It will trigger for a black formal shoes for men, and for so on. When you have modified broad and both has plus symbol, it means that both words should be present in the search. The third one is formal shoes, which one in broad and one in broad match modifier. What it means is that formal can trigger for in broad match, so even evening shoes, the ads can be shown, but the shoes has to be there exactly. Broad matches for formal shoes could trigger ads for formal footwear, evening footwear, men's dress, wingtips. It can go really random also sometimes. Is this clear? Is the match type clear, or is there any specific question that is related to match type? Then I can take it right now.
Okay, so Shalika wants to know a little bit more about the phrase match. If you can, just show her how it works. I think generally most of the questions are about what is the, how each of the match types is structured. So the order of words, etc. So if we can just show it, quickly.
Right. I think I will show it again. I think the picture explains this particular photo explains it the best. Exact is the most strict of the match type, where only searches which are exactly the same, that will be triggered. Phrase is more like the formal shoes, right? Here the example is formal shoes. So the formal shoes has to be present in that exact order. So black formal shoes or formal shoes for men are examples of phrase. But it cannot trigger an ad if between formal and shoes some other keyword comes in, right? Formal best shoes. It will not trigger an ad for that. Or if the order is reversed, if shoes come first and formal comes second, then it will not trigger ad. So phrase is more slightly more broader than exact, but it's not really. It is much stricter than, let's say, broad or modified broad. The third one is the modified broad. This is something new. So what you need to understand is that it is essentially broad match with a plus sign in front of some words. And when you put a plus sign in front of a word, it means that show the ad only when this particular word is present. So plus formal and plus shoe means show this ad to any search which has formal and shoes in it in any order, right? So it could be formal evening shoes, shoes for formal wear, anything like that. The condition being formal and shoes has to be present. In the slightly modified example where the plus sign is only in front of shoes, it means that it has to be related to formal shoes, but shoes as a word should be present in the search. It's not necessary that formal needs to be present. So the ad can even trigger for evening shoes also. The broad match is mostly, it's like a wild character type of a match type where it can literally trigger for a lot of searches. So you should be extremely careful if you are using broad match.
Right. Yeah. Also, Saurabh is asking if he can use all the match types, all at once. So yeah.
Yes, you can. And I will walk you through what is the best strategy to use that also. How should we ideally use it and why should we use it? So a lot of what I'm doing in this particular webinar is the best practices that is recommended by experts. And I'm trying to give you reasons why you should follow these best practices. What are the problems that you can face if the best practices are not followed?
Yeah. I think, that's the problem. I think that's where most people really struggle actually using it. So anyway, so there's one more question that I think like 3-4 people have asked. So what match type should be preferred for adding negative keywords to an ad group?
So if you want to exclude only a particular search term, let's say only a particular search, then exact matches are the best. But I usually prefer to put phrase match as a negative. So let's say you are an e-commerce company or any other company, and free is a keyword that you see with a lot of the searches, and you want to avoid showing ads to any searches which has free in it. So the best way to do it is you put negative keyword in the phrase match. Put free as a negative keyword in the phrase match, and the ideal way is to, again, I will talk about this at a later point. Ideal way is to add it to a negative shared negative list, and apply it across campaigns. Do not make the mistake of adding negative keywords only at the ad group level or at the campaign level. If you want to properly exclude those searches, you have to apply it across campaigns.
So another question that is coming in from a lot of people is which is the best match type to use when they're just beginning the campaigns?
Start with the broad match modifier. It's a good bet. It's slightly more restrictive than broad, so you will be able to weed out some irrelevant clicks. But it is broad enough to get you enough clicks for identifying whether the AdWords is working or AdWords is not working for you.
Another question is, what's the best practice to bid for a popular keyword? The auto bid is generally very, very expensive. So if you could...
Another suggestion that I'll have is that never follow the bid that is exactly recommended by Google. Usually it is a slightly expensive bid that is suggested by Google. Try out with maybe half of that or even less, right? The best way is to figure out what the keyword is worth to you and then make the bid. So if the keyword is worth 5 rupees to you, then start with 5 rather than looking at the competition. Because if you look at the competition and then make a bid, you're not going to get much benefit out of it. A better way is to look at the conversion ratio over time. For, let's say, you're even starting with a new keyword, right? But for other keywords, you have got a conversion ratio of 5%. Then back calculate and find out what you need to bid for the new keyword, and then place that bid. Don't really go with the Google suggested bid.
Right. So there's another question. Kalpana is asking, when we use single keyword ad groups, should it contain only one match type? If yes, then should we create one ad group for each match type of a keyword?
She's actually jumping my presentation. This is exactly what I'm going to discuss in the next slide or so. This is a very relevant question though, and I'll tell you why single keyword ad groups with match type is necessary for your campaign. But I'll answer it during the presentation itself.
Salil, then you can go on ahead with the present, because questions are gonna keep coming in. So guys, we'll take the questions, as many as we can, at the end of the presentation as well. So please keep sending your questions in. Salil, please.
All right. So this is what the question was, and this is where you're doing single keyword ad groups with match types. So she realizes that match types are there, and she can use these match types in the ad groups. So what Sam does is, instead of having single keyword ad groups, she adds all the 3 match types, exact, phrase, and BMM, broad match modifier, in the same ad group, and she sees how it performs. So what are the problems that this particular strategy has? So similar to earlier cases, even the same keyword with a different match type will behave differently. When I say behave differently, the conversion ratios can vary vastly. It could be, for an exact match, the conversion could be as high as 10%, and for phrase it could be 2%. This conversion ratio can vary heavily, even though the keyword is the same, but the match type is different. So it is the best strategy is to separate these keywords into even more ad groups. So the single keyword ad group strategy with match type. So let's say you have 100 keywords, you have 300 ad groups now. 3 ad groups for a keyword, one for exact, one for phrase, and one for broad match modifier. This also helps in device level bidding too. So if the keyword, the same keyword with exact match is having a different conversion ratio in mobile, and same keyword with another match type is having a totally different conversion ratio in mobile. So it will also help you set ad group level device bids, which will further optimize your campaigns. So we come to this structure finally: single keyword ad groups with match types, multiple keyword with 3 different match types, 1 ad group for every single keyword and match type, multiple ads for every single ad group. One thing to realize is that a single keyword for broad match modifier, single word keyword for in broad match modifier and phrase are essentially the same. So let's say if lawyer in broad match modifier and lawyer in phrase are essentially the same, but best lawyer in broad match modifier and best lawyer in phrase are not the same, because in broad match modifier the order is not important. The words can come in the sentence anyway. And what is the problem with this? Even this is not perfect. We are like moving towards a perfect campaign structure, and let's see what are the problems with this campaign structure also. What Sam notices is that a lot of time, because she has set up a different ad for her exact type, exact match ad type, the ad is not showing for the that particular match type. Some other ad is being triggered. The phrase match ad is being triggered for best lawyer. This is not ideal, right? I mean, because she might have a different bid for exact and different bid for phrase. So why is phrase coming into the picture where she has a exact match keyword defined and a separate ad group for it, and she has defined a different ad for it. This is called internal competition, and it can arise because of a lot of factors. And what we first will discuss is the competition between match types. So exact match triggers only exact queries. Phrase can trigger exact as well as something more. Broad can trigger phrase plus something more. So if you remember the photo that we had shown initially, these were like concentric circles, more like a concentric circles. So exact is the smallest circle, phrase is the slightly bigger circle, and broad is the biggest circle. So broad match can compete with phrase as well as exact, and phrase can compete with exact. So this will drive up your CPCs a lot. You might only want to pay 5 rupees for exact, but because your phrase match is being bid at 10 rupees, you will end up paying 10 rupees for that particular click. This introduces another important keyword match type, negative keywords. This can be set at ad group level, campaign level, as well as the not an account level, but at a shared negative list also. This will block, if you add a negative keyword, it will block the ad from appearing. There can be negative exact, negative phrase, as well as negative broad. There is no negative broad match modifier, and it's usually denoted by a minus sign. So Sam refines the structure a little bit more. So right now she will have single keyword ad group with match types as well as negative in it. So there are multiple keywords with 3 different match types, one ad group for every single keyword and match type. But in the structure, the exact keyword will go as a negative in phrase match, and the phrase match will go as a negative in broad match ad group. I want to like take some questions here, because if you need any kind of repetition, I'll be happy to do it.
Vitra is asking, from a quality score perspective, would it make sense to separate search campaigns from content network campaigns? The content CTR is obviously lower than the search CTR, so she's concerned that the content CTR would negatively affect the search CTR of the keywords of the same campaign.
It doesn't actually, because the different networks, even inside search network, if you are signed into search partners and your CTR is low on search partners, it wouldn't affect the quality score of Google search. But having said that, it's absolutely must that you separate campaigns for content as well as search, because these are 2 different mediums and they have like very different conversion ratios. It's absolutely must that you segregate into different campaigns.
So Sujit is asking, should we divide the budget while dividing the ad group and match types?
There is absolutely no need for that. So essentially, she's, Sam, our persona in today's webinar, she's targeting the same set of keywords as she was doing when she had 1 keyword in her account. When she had just 1 keyword lawyer in her account, she is targeting the same number of searches. So her budget is not going to increase. The only thing that is going to be better is that her campaigns will perform at a much better level right now, because she has done a lot of optimization in terms of structuring. She has avoided a lot of internal competition. She is now bidding at a device level and following the keyword performance very accurately. So there is no need for increasing in the budget per se. This is just a much more optimized campaign.
So Karan is asking how to identify the internal competition among your own ad groups within a campaign.
What you can do is go to search term report. You can easily find it in the keywords tab. There's something called search term report. If you look at the search term report, you'll find that a lot of times the same search is being triggered by 2 different keywords. If that is happening in your account, there is a high internal competition. Now, one more thing is, you can have no internal competition if you have a single keyword in your campaign, but that's not recommended at all. So don't be in that extreme also. But if you want to just find out how much internal competition is happening, you can just go to the search term report and figure out for the same search, are there multiple keywords triggering the search.
Right. Okay, so Kalpana is asking, I think this is in reference to your example. If I add a best lawyer in as negative to, okay, this is so hard to say. I mean, she's talking about like specific match types. I think Kalpana will answer this offline. Okay, Mohit is asking, how do you know that your AdWord is working good? Is there a specific target or percentage set?
Yeah, it's a very subjective thing again. Nobody really knows if their AdWords account is being the best. You can obviously do a lot of checklist kind of mistakes, right? If you're not using cycling extensions, if you're not using extension, there is a chance for improvement. If there is a lot of competition, I just explained to you how to look at competition. If you're not doing that, probably you can get a bit more performance. You can do a lot of checklist type of checks, but other than that, you can never really know if your campaign is at its best or not. The one thing to look at is not really worry about what can potentially happen in AdWords side. More than that, if it's making sense for your business, if AdWords is making sense for business, that is the best scenario to be in. Do not really worry about the competition that much.
Right. Pavitra is asking that I'm wondering if ad rank on the display network is calculated the same as it is for search network.
The parameters are used are more or less the same, but we have much more data from for search network and comparatively less for display network, because the number of websites that your ad can be triggered is just immense. And in display, it's not just about keywords, right? It's about a lot of other stuff. It's about audience targeting. It's about placement targeting. So keyword quality score, give it a more preference in the search campaigns, and it's not really a big deal in the content network.
Right. So Varun is worried about the fact that the search algorithm has changed and the right site ads are not there anymore. So their CPC has increased. So is there any way that they can tackle this?
Well, there's no going back now, but from my experience, I haven't seen the cost increasing that much, and this is after seeing maybe close to thousands of AdWords campaigns. We haven't observed a sizable increase in the CPCs. And what happened was the right side ads always had a low CTR. Now it is being pushed to the bottom, and they have actually added one more position in the top. So instead of having 3, a lot of times now you see 4 ads on the top. So overall, there has been an increase in number of clicks. So your cost might have increased because the number of clicks also have increased, but it can also happen because of a lot of other factors also. Maybe this is just a coincidence that the algorithm changed recently, but that alone, the algorithm change alone, shouldn't have affected the increase in CPCs.
Himanshu is saying that the average position has gone down due to the removal of right ads. So yeah, how to tackle that?
Yeah, so here is the thing, right? Average position is one of the most deceptive metrics that you will see. A lot of times when people think that their average position is 4, they believe that they're getting clicks when their average when their position was at 4. That's not the case. So most of the time, what you need to look at is something called top versus others clicks data. If you look at the top versus others data, it will tell you how many number of times your ad got clicked from the top positions, that's the 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, versus how many times you got it from the other positions. And I can guarantee you that more than 70-80% of the time, your ad must have gotten clicks from the top positions. The only reason why your average position is low is because a lot of times your ad was shown in the fifth to 10th position. It does not mean that you are getting clicks from those positions at all.
Right. So one question that I'm seeing quite a bit is about the recently introduced expanded text ads. So people want to know about the best strategy to implement them.
Again, that was my bonus slide. I wanted to talk about it if we had time. Do we have time? I have like maybe 5 or 6 more pages, and
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay,
It's all
so
right.
then
Yeah.
we can discuss it towards the end, and I'll talk a little bit more about expanded text ads.
All right. I think we can go on ahead with the presentation for now. All right.
All right, great. So we come to the final set of problems. After this, our keyword structure is going, our account structure is going to be perfect or close to perfect. There is one more type of competition that can happen in your account. This is the competition between long tail and short tail keywords. So what's a long tail keyword? Any keyword which is long, that is a long tail keyword. And a short tail keyword is usually a 1 or 2 word keyword. And this can happen because a best lawyer can trigger ads. Lawyer can trigger ads for best lawyer also, and best lawyer can trigger ads for best lawyer. So there's a lot of, not just competition is not just between match types, it can happen between short tail and long tail keywords also. The final structure is to add these keywords also. So if you have a long tail ad group, put the long tail keyword as a negative in the short tail ad group. That is the only strategy that you can have. So the final structure is as follows. You have single keyword ad groups with match types. You have negative keywords in the between these ad groups for long tail for avoiding long tail versus short tail competition, as well as match type competition. You have multiple ads per ad group, and if you are at this level or close to this level, right, your campaigns will be really running really well. And if you are making those changes, regularly making those device level changes, making those optimization level changes, I can guarantee you that this was one of the best structure that you can possibly achieve in Google AdWords. I wanted to talk a little bit about negative keywords. So if you don't want to show an ad for a particular search, the best strategy is to create a shared negative list and apply that shared negative list across campaigns, because you don't just want to just trigger ads for that keyword from an ad group or a campaign. You want the entire account to not trigger for that particular search. Then the best practice is to create a shared negative list and apply it across campaigns. Okay, then Sam the lawyer lived happily ever after with her PPC account. This is the bonus slide that I have, which is the expanded text ads. So this is a new ad format from Google. The old ad text ads will be deprecated by October 26. What I mean by is that you will no longer be able to create or edit this old text ads. The ads will continue running. So it's not like your ads are going to get stopped, but the expanded text ads have much more real estate than the old text ads. It is more suitable to the mobile first world, and we have seen almost universally more CTR than traditional ads. There are some things that you need to keep in mind, such as the second headline may be trimmed in some cases. So this is what a expanded text ad will look like. The first option is the final URL, which is example.com/0. Cruise to Mars with a code is the headline one. This is the most important part of your ad now. The headline one has to like clearly say something about what you do. Headline number 2 should ideally help headline number 1. But keep in mind the headline number 2 might not be visible always. It might get shortened in some devices. The display URL, old display URL is gone. It has been replaced by something called path 1 and path 2. So example.com is automatically selected from whatever the final URL is, and you have 2 paths. Ideally, you should include your keyword in these things. So if you are advertising if I was Sam, I would have written example.com/best/lawyer. Again, regarding the character limits, the headline 1 and 2 have 30 characters each, path 1 and path 2 has 15 each. The final one is the description line. There is no description line 1 and 2. Instead, you have a combined description line which is 80 characters long. This is much bigger real estate that Google is providing. And this is something that I've observed across campaigns, right? People have not yet upgraded to expanded text stats. So I would advise every one of you to, if you're running your AdWords campaign, upgrade your text stats immediately. You should really go ahead with, if you don't want to delete your old ads, that's okay, but at least add these new expanded text ads to your campaigns. You'll definitely see a positive impact on your campaigns. I think that's it. I'll take more questions. I would really appreciate if you can tweet to Salil, PA, Adnabu, LeadSquared with the hashtag AdWords after this thing, and tell us how it was. We will really appreciate your feedback. What say, Minu? Shall we take the remaining questions?
I think we will try to take as many questions as we can. I've been trying to answer a few here and there, but I think there are quite a few. So let's see. I'll start right from the newest questions now. So okay, so for B2B campaigns, we need to target industry and job roles, which can be done on LinkedIn. Does Google provide any such filters? So
no, you can't target a particular company. That's out of question. You can target maybe keywords that these individuals might search for. So think about it this way, these are different mediums. Facebook is a different medium. PPC, Google search is a different medium. LinkedIn is a different medium. There are some use cases where LinkedIn ads might work best. There are some use cases where Google AdWords might work best. And there are some cases where Facebook might work best. So you have to identify what works for your company. And if you are selling to very targeted individual positions, keep in mind that LinkedIn CPCs are really, really high. But if you are targeting, if you have a very high, customer value, then it makes sense to invest in LinkedIn ads also. But it's a totally different medium. You cannot compare PPC with LinkedIn ads.
Right, that's what. So yes, so Ankia has a question that I think some people also might have, which is, I think, really, really broad, but any tips for startups who are just starting up with AdWords? Something with the low budgets and,
See, low budget is not a problem. So don't really aspire for the #1 position then. Be reasonable and be around the average position of somewhere around 3 or 4 is fine. Now you might not get as many clicks as the other big guys are getting, but these are measurable things that you can get. You can make sense out of what's working and what is not, and then grow your campaigns. So I would recommend to start with 3 or 4 average positions in the start.
Somebody is asking why single keyword ad groups have more efficiency.
Because of a lot of things, right? One, the ad can be tailored exactly to the that particular keyword. 2, the performance can be exactly matched. If you follow all the best practice that I have said, the performance of the keyword will not be an averaged out value, it will be an exact value, so that you can bid specifically also. Again, the problem of device level bids, right? If you want to make any device level changes for your bids, there is literally no other way you can do otherwise. You can put it at an ad group level where you have 10-15 keywords, then it will affect every single keyword. So you might not want to have such kind of a structure. It's slightly hard. Whatever I've said is not the easiest thing to implement, but it's by far the more efficient one.
For everybody asking about the recording, yes, we'll be sending the recording to you within, give us, I think, 4 days time, working days, we'll be sending it across to you. So, all right, I'll go on with the questions now. So, well, which is better, CPA or CPC?
If you have time, if you are willing to invest time in AdWords and optimize it yourself, then CPC. But if you don't have time, go with CPA. Instead of not optimizing the campaigns ever, it's better to have some amount of optimization. But keep in mind, if you have very less conversions, it's just going to not work at all. So ensure that you have at least 50, 60 conversions per month. Otherwise, the CPA is just not going to work for you.
So, all right. So we have one question. This is from our in-house PPC expert. So she's asking, when I'm using automated bidding strategy, CPA, what options should I use? Optimize for conversions or rotate evenly for A/B testing?
Is this for the ad? If it's for the ad, ideally, optimize it. So here's the thing: most of the test that's has been doing around PPC have found out that the ad text has no relevance in the conversion ratio. So no matter what the ad says, the user is going to convert based on the keyword and your website. The ad has very little influence in increasing or decreasing the conversion ratio. So if you're making ad level A/B testing, it is recommended to optimize for clicks itself rather than, but if you want to like A/B test it, yeah, then you can maybe rotate it evenly for a few days and figure out what is working and what is not.
So, okay, Ashwin is asking any suggestions you have for the app install ads?
App install ads is nothing but an extension of search ads. So everything that I've talked about, the structuring still holds. The only difference is that the ad is different. Instead of having expanded text ads or the regular text ad, you have a different format where the URL is towards your Play Store link. But everything else remains the same. One of the things that you need to understand is the conversion ratio in Play Store ads is much, much higher usually. It's around 30% normally. If you're getting more than that, great. But usually you'll get somewhere around 30% conversion ratio. And every other best practice that I talked about remains the same. The device level bidding is not really important here because you're only showing on mobile devices, but every other, the making ad relevant to the keywords, everything else stands.
All right, so Hardeep is asking about AdWords and AdWords Express difference.
I tried to talk about it a little bit in the start. So here is the thing: if you absolutely have no time, you are a very small business, you have absolutely no time to maintain a website or not track anything, and you just want some kind of visitors coming to a website, go with AdWords Express. But it's just not recommended because you don't have any kind of optimization options available. You cannot track which keywords are converting or not. You cannot make keyword level bid changes. There's very little flexibility out there. My personal recommendation is to stay away from AdWords Express ads and at least create a simple AdWords campaign.
Right. So Ashwini is saying that generally what happens when he's doing CPA is that he puts the cost as 50, but the end value goes up to say $70. So how can he control that?
Because it's trying to predict future. That will happen with any system. Even everybody has any kind of AdWords management tool. Let that be Google Adwords conversion optimizer, even AdNavu as a conversion optimizer. We try to optimize it on the conversion value also. But all these systems essentially try to predict future by looking at past data. So this might not be exactly as what you would get. But if it's 50 and it's showing 70 for you, if you have not made any landing page changes or any kind of changes, then it's not an ideal situation. Maybe you should go back to a manual CPC bidding for some time, increase the number of conversions, and then go back to CPA bidding. Because 50 to 70 is like an increase of 40%. And I generally see an error of maybe 20%, but 40% is a little too much.
Oh, okay. Universal app campaign. So can you sort of...
Again, universal app campaign is another easy way to start your this thing. But again, no insight about what's working, what's not. You will absolutely get no control over the ads. I've also seen slightly deceptive app install number from universal app installs. So what the problem is that you cannot opt out of display network, and display network will drive a lot of app installs, but these users will just uninstall your app after some time. So if you are able to measure something that is post-install, you will see that the CPA that you see in universal app installs is a reduced CPA. The actual CPA will be much higher because a lot of conversions will come from display network, which might not be that relevant to you.
All right. So, okay. So I think there's a question. It becomes difficult to track conversions for iOS downloads. So is there any specific app there is to track these conversions?
I think there is a proper documentation how to track iOS app installs. You have to include it in your not the APK file, whatever it is for the Apple Store, but it essentially pings the Google Adwords server and tells you that the app has been installed. It has to be the conversion tracking is not as smooth as the Google Play Store because it's a direct integration, but you can still do it. There are some SDKs available for that.
All right, so so there's another question. So the CTR on my search ads is generally more than 8%, but the keyword CPC is still expensive because the expected CTR and the landing page experience is below average. How do I fix this if it is for an app install and the CTR is actually high?
Okay, if it's a app install campaign, maybe you can improve the App Store ranking by adding more relevant keywords. But here is the thing: 8% CTR is actually low for app install campaigns. It's not really high because the number of ad positions in App Store is generally lower. You should be getting much higher CTR. If it by expensive is again very relative, right? If you want more number of clicks or conversions from a fixed search volume, you'll have to pay exponentially more. So always remember that if you need more number of clicks or conversions from existing campaigns, you have to pay exponentially more. But I personally believe 8% is a low CTR. It is a good CTR for search network, but not so good for app install campaigns.
Right. So there's now there's a question. Is there any tool that can help me identify keywords bid level change with time?
So what I think I understand from this question is that she wants to know how the keyword competition has changed over time. There is no tool per se available for that. But again, rather than thinking about the keyword competition, think from a user perspective. Think from your own perspective. How much is that keyword worth to me? If the conversion ratio is 10% and I want the conversion at 1,000 rupees, I can only bid at max 100 rupees for it, right? I cannot go 200 rupees and expect it to come at 1,000 rupees CPA. So your keyword level bid should be decided not by the competition, but how much that keyword is worth to you.
Right. I think we are past our time, but let's take one or two more questions, right? Okay. So there's a question in fintech domain. There are very limited keywords to target, and so many players are bidding on the same keywords. How to make a difference and be on the top of the page?
You can't. Yeah, there's not much option there. It's not like SEO where search engine optimization where you can do something and get the rankings increased. It's much more straightforward. There is very little black hat SEO that you can do in AdWords. So if you have a lot of companies vying for the top position, don't vie for the top position then. Maybe look at say a little lower, get in the 4th or 5th position and get some clicks. But really there's nothing much that you can do if there is a lot of competition for your limited set of keywords.
So I think what, we will end the session now, and guys, you can keep on sending us your questions. I think you can send them to shibani.roy@leadsquared.com, or to Salil's email ID directly. So Salil at nabu.com, right? So you can send it to us or send it to Salil directly, and whatever questions we could not take today, we will be compiling them in the form of a blog post, and we will send it across to you like we always do. So all right, thank you everybody for coming in and for the great participation that we saw today. Thank you, Salil, so much. Once again, I think we'll have, we'll try to have many more sessions like this. It was really, really informative and really nice. Thanks a lot. And thank you, everyone. So till next time.
Thanks a lot, guys. Do remember to tweet to us, to both @nabu
Yes.
and LeadSquared, and let us know how the session went. Your feedback will help us make this much more informative. And it was a pleasure talking to you all. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye, everyone.